And we're live. Happy Monday, Jeff.
Happy Monday indeed. How are you?
I'm superb. I love Mondays.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week. I said you're probably one of the very few people in the world that would say that, but
right. maybe. More people should love Mondays. What's wrong with Mondays?
I don't know. People that hate their job, I guess, don't like Mondays or whatever. And I suppose for a lot of people, days just all kind of blend together. It's Blur's Day, as people like to call.
Right.
They just all kind of blur together.
Very true. Okay, awesome. Well, today we have MarketWatch Monday. Of course, it's Monday, so that's what we're doing here. So, do you want to start with what's going on this week, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. But just to sort of back up a little bit, for some new people who might be just joining us, every Monday we report on all new e-commerce businesses that are listed for sale, and particularly we focus on businesses selling physical products with an e-commerce sales channel, and this is worldwide for anything publicly available for sale above the $1 million price point. So in that, we're currently tracking 75 active listings for sale with 27 additional deals that are pending. So that's a lot of activity that's on the market right now in that range. And so over the last week, there were 4 new businesses that came to market between 1 million and 4.5 million. 2 of them are aged businesses with 15 to 18 years of history, which is huge. And 3 deals this week are boasting unique or proprietary products, which buyers always love because it creates that nice moat of defensibility around the brand. And one business is claiming, this is interesting, Cora. One business is claiming 74% profit margin, but a quick pass at the P&L sample on the listing something doesn't seem right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk about that in a sec, but I just want to touch on one thing you mentioned with unique proprietary products. We are definitely seeing a trend. When we do our Wednesday video, What Buyers Want Wednesday, you're seeing this as a recurring theme. We're constantly having these conversations around IP, defensibility of the actual products, the designs themselves, what's unique about the products. This is becoming more and more important. But yes, let's go back to the 74% profit margin. So when you list a business, you can say whatever you want. Either if you're listing it yourself, if this one is actually using a broker, but if your broker or yourself or anyone else lists a business, you can literally say whatever you want, right? The next thing is, well, what is that real? What are you using to base this off? In this case, there is a broker being used. It's on a public forum, so we'll link to this in the group so you guys can check this out. Or if you're on our MarketWatch Monday email list, you'll see this come out today. There's some comments around the financials here that it doesn't add up. So a couple of the things on the P&L sample, there's $38,000 of stock for the year to make 1.1 million in sales. That seems very unlikely. They're using cash accounting and using for the purchase of orders, not accrual accounting. So this isn't ideal as far as figuring out what the business is actually making. On our video last week where we talked about SDE finally, this was something that we kind of touched on. Being accrual accounting is what investors want to see. This could actually be a good thing for the buyer, that the books aren't done correctly because the value would be off. But yeah, definitely that 74% margin is questionable at best. The best deal that we've seen so far had a 75% gross margin, not net margin. So I've not seen a business this high. If it is, it should sell for a lot of money. And specifically, if this is correct, why would you sell this? That would be the ultimate cash cow.
Yeah, no kidding.
ROI would be insane. I'd take a 74%.
Run this from your yacht. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just keep cranking that out all day,
Yeah, no
every
kidding.
day.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, like you said, we'll put the link to this and the other businesses that that came to market in the comments section below. I think is where we're putting them, but also
in
certainly
the group.
in the group, yes.
Yeah.
And if but certainly sign up for the MarketWatch Monday emails, and we'll send you these every week if that's of interest to you. But yeah, just one more thing to touch on here is that the median multiple is up this week at 4.4x. Which is great. So compared to the last weeks, and coming in around 2.7x, certainly the two businesses that were 15 and 18 years of history with them sort of definitely help to bring that up, because buyers certainly love that kind of history. So anyway, but let's talk about a featured listing this week. What do we got?
Yes. Yeah. So this one's kind of interesting. It's more of a mixed business. They're calling it a direct-to-consumer ski brand. So it's not just Amazon by the looks of it, which is interesting. It was started in 2002 by pro skiers who found a gap in the market and actually created their own products. So this one's just come up for sale. So again, there's history in this deal, which is always helpful. It's an interesting niche. And the timing of this is also interesting because it's not winter right now. So they've done kind of come through the season and then they're looking to sell, which could be interesting. If I was buying this, I'd want to drag it out as long as possible so that you're taking over right when the sales are going to kick off. But I'm looking at the product suite, of course.
And I suppose they probably lost half their season too.
Yes.
Right. If things were shut down in February, or I don't know where. I think this was in Vermont. I don't know where they sat on the shutdown, but yeah, it would have been right around there. So they probably would have lost that and that part of that spring skiing season too.
Yeah. So you've got current COVID being what impact has this had on the business, because the listing doesn't actually say that. You've got a seasonal business being that it's ski products. So what products do they currently have that help skiers keep fit in the off season? Is there anything they're currently offering that could be an opportunity? If it is a seasonal business, like I mentioned at the start, you'd probably want to buy it closer to the season, but use right now to diligence the deal. What else did you see about this one?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the time of year sort of struck me as odd, but and it looks like they have their own facility. I know you mentioned that it was sort of a mixed, but I mean, how is that kind of factored in? It says that, if they rent sort of a 600 square foot facility, so it's very small, but I mean, skis, I don't know, I guess stacked vertically. I don't know, but I mean, so it's obviously not like a store. I guess more of like their own kind of warehouse, I guess. But
so it says this one. It says it was acquired in 2017 and converted from a retail model to an online model. So it'd be interesting to see what infrastructure is still there from those retail days. 600 square foot, that doesn't sound like a retail front to me. It says it's shared with other brands. So it'd be interesting to know if that creates crossover sales or anything like that. Is that actually required? And then what legacy items could you actually trim for this business to be completely online? If they are storing products, that's something to think about. Is what are the other options? Could you get a 3PL or something like that to make it more hands-off? One of the reasons you'd want to do this is to improve value. The other reason you'd want to do this is to streamline operations, unless you wanted to move to Vermont. If there are things that need to be done in Vermont, well, is that always going to be the case? If so, that's going to limit the buyer pool, everything else being equal. It could limit the buyer pool. So if you're wanting to buy this, there could be less buyers interested, which might be a good time to go in and buy this. But if you can convert it to be more location independent, that could open up the buyer pool. That way, a buyer in China could buy it, or a buyer in the UK could buy this, because they don't need a physical location to run the business. But there might be something that needs to be run in person. So some
it
some more
seems like
digging
it's
to do.
with fittings and waxing and sharpening or whatever, all these things that go along with like maintaining the skis. I don't know if that's what the facility is used for, maybe, or was. But the other thing that really struck me too is that it's pretty thin, with 1.8 million in gross, like in revenue, and they're fluctuating right around that 10 or 13% margin, and certainly the facility would eat into that a little bit, but it's only $1,000 a month, so that's not really it. But when I read down at the bottom here, they talk about collaborations with athletes, engineers, and factories, and it's like, I wonder if that's eating into some of that profit margin there. If they have some, kind of paid endorsements or whatever, with some of the athletes.
And then also,
because it says year after year they win awards with their skis from testers in the media, but it seems like they're probably spending a lot of money to like get that product out in front of media and at races or events, and get them into the hands of athletes to use them at these events. So I'm guessing anyway that's where a good chunk of that profit is going.
Yeah, and then you've got the product lineup itself. So depending on how many accessory products, maybe they've got a large range of skis that they're actually producing, promoting, selling. That can drag profit too, because you need to hold, two things. You need to hold more inventory, which doesn't impact net profit, or it shouldn't. That should be on the balance sheet, the amount of inventory you have. But just by having a wider range of products, maybe they can't sell everything for a great margin, or they're clearing items out all the time to try and just move their inventory, which would eat into that profit. So maybe they're not priced high enough. Maybe they're not, they don't have a great margin on sourcing the products. However, they're doing that. So yeah, there's definite things to be looked at here, and clearly there'll be some optimization. Anytime you have a legacy business, there's going to be a ton of things to look at. We're literally looking at a deal right now that's very similar. 25 years old and legacy retiring owners. So yeah, it's there's going to be a lot of optimization there, but also probably a lot to pull apart and figure out what's actually happening in the business.
Yeah, like what can you do with it? Like if they've got 20 years of history and they've ran things a certain way, and these old habits are going to need to die hard to push it into, a form that's sort of more reflective of the current buyer, I guess. And also the other thing, geographically, that might be a very competitive industry in that area, because I know that Vermont, sort of New England, is kind of it's a popular pastime for both cross country and some downhill skiing there. So never know, that might be pretty cutthroat out in that region too. Where they're priced kind of right where they have to be, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that one could be interesting. We'll put the link to join up to MarketWatch Monday in the chat everywhere else. Otherwise, if you're in the Facebook group, Double Your Exit Community, we'll drop these links in so you can take a look at what we're talking about here, and give us your feedback. What do you think about these deals? And if you are looking to acquire, also let us know what you thought once you get under the hood and see, are we off base, or did we pick up some stuff? Awesome. All right. How can people get in touch with us, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. Best way to get in touch with us is sales@thefbabroker.com. That goes straight to my inbox, and let me know if you're looking at buying or selling. I can direct you in the right direction. But if you are looking at selling, whether that be now, a year from now, 2 years from now, or if you just want to get a check-in to sort of see what you can do to sort of improve the value of the business in its current state, any of those scenarios, give me an email, sales@thefbabroker.com, and we'll arrange a time to chat and figure out how we can help.
Awesome. Cool. Well, that's a wrap for MarketWatch Monday, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Just a reminder on our regular spots. So we've got What Buyers Want Wednesday, FAQ Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursdays we do a specific topic relating to selling an FBA business or an e-commerce business. So we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, Jeff.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.